Don't believe there's any major changes. Let's see. There was a vacancy in the jail, but I'm not sure if it's been filled or not. And I forgot to ask, honestly, before we came in tonight. And I also I don't know if Massengale got his folks filled or not. He had a vacancy down at the, do you know by chance?
I haven't heard anything. Usually,
anyway,
I don't think it's filled.
You do
no,
or
I don't.
don't?
No,
You
no.
don't? All right. Okay.
Don't write that in stone or anything.
Yeah.
We usually talk about it, and I haven't heard anything.
We have, announced today a freeze on hiring until we can figure out the budget. We should know, as we know, we talked Tuesday about budgeting, approved the FY27 budget. And part of that contingency was using fund balance for some reoccurring values, which I don't like, but we did that. And so, meaning we need to know what a mill is worth. We'll find that out hopefully around 18 days from now, around July 20th. If I can not say December 20th, we were talking about Christmas a minute ago. Anyway, July 20th. So hopefully by then we will can lift any kind of freeze. But this is just so that so we can kind of identify where we are, what we're paying, and make sure that the budget is stable before we get too far down the road. Any questions about the personnel status report? Okay, hearing none, we'll consider that approved and added consent agenda. Number 4 is Rural Transit Day, and so Penny Keaton is our person who is over and director of public transportation, and the clerk I know would just love to read this tonight or present this. Oh, well, here, by all means. You typed it, so this is Rural Transit Day 2026. It's recognizing July 16th, 2026 as National Rural Transit Day in Dade County. So.
You gonna bring her up for a picture?
Sure. We would love for you to come up, Penny. Come on up for a picture. And here comes Carrie with the little camera. So I guess I'll read it. I was going to try to embarrass her. And we do match. Thank you, Penny. It's 4th of July colors. So happy 4th of July. So whereas rural public transportation provides essential mobility services that connect residents to employment, healthcare, education, shopping, community service, and social opportunities, and Dade County Transit provides safe, reliable, accessible, and affordable transportation services for the residents of Dade County, helping improve quality of life and access to critical resources. And whereas National Rural Transit Day is observed annually on July 16th to recognize the contributions of rural and tribal transit agencies, professionals, drivers, dispatchers, maintenance personnel, and riders throughout the nation. And rural transit services play a vital role in supporting seniors, individuals with disability, veterans, students, and families by ensuring transportation is available regardless of personal vehicle ownership. And the state of Georgia recognizes the importance of rural transit systems, which provide transportation access in most Georgia counties and strengthen economic opportunities, public health, and community connectivity. And the citizens of Dade County benefit from the dedication and service of transit employees and community partners who work diligently to provide dependable transportation throughout the county and surrounding region. The National Rural Transit Day provides an opportunity to celebrate the positive impacts of rural transportation services and to raise awareness of the continued need for accessible and sustainable mobility options in rural communities. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Dade County Board of Commissioners, July 16th is as National Rural Transit Day in Dade County, Georgia, encourages all citizens to recognize the value of rural public transportation and to join in honoring the employees, volunteers, partners, and riders who contribute to the success of rural transit services. I'd just like to say, we'll get a picture while I'm yapping. And I could have taken my glasses off, so we'll do that again.
I can't.
I would like to say, your folks get up with the chickens, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Get ready, get in those vans. Doesn't matter if it's storming outside or it's been sleeting and snowing or that van is 13 degrees with frost all over it. They get up, they go pick up these folks, sometimes early. What's the earliest?
3:30.
You pick-
3:45.
Wow. Because, when you go to the hospital for surgery these days, it's sometimes extremely early.
Yes.
And so that's a real commitment on our employee side, and we do recognize them for their talents and their contributions for Dade County. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. All right, that was our only proclamation, so we'll add that to consent agenda for approval. Number 5 is SPLOST update, and Robert Roberts has been doing an outstanding job of getting these informational packets to the commissioners, and Gidget passes those on to everyone. The current, let me see if I got the current one. We've got several in here to take a look at, but as you can see, or if you've driven by the facility down there, they've done a lot of work. The brick masonry is probably complete. If it's not, it's very close to being complete around the entire building. Electrical and plumbing rough ends have been installed and passed. The roofing first layer insulation, R-30, has been installed. The electrical interior rough ends, above ceiling and wall conduit was finished on June 12th. And the ductwork, I know that the mechanical has been installed, and so there's been a whole lot of things happen. The drywall has been hung for the most part, and it really looks good. The next step is try to get the windows. They were trying to get the brick done, so now they'll get the windows, storefront type windows such as this, the bronze, dark brown looking color. And the doors will be installed, and then they'll be working on the parking lot a little bit. I know they were putting in a sewer connection today, I believe, and some electrical connections from the building to the street. So if you get a chance, feel free to stop by there and take a look at it, and they'll be glad to give you a tour. I think his name's Chad Smith, I believe. It's Chad Smith, person we can talk to down there. So, any questions or? All right. Looks good. All right. We'll add that to the consent agenda. It's just for information only. Number 6 is emergency medical services agreement. I asked Kyle Gross to come forward, introduce this. We've been working with Puckett EMS now for really about, 6 weeks very closely, but actually a little bit longer even through the request for proposal process. But go ahead, Kyle, give us an update.
Well, so, yeah, I'm just going to, provide a quick update. So, with a contract with Puckett EMS. So Alex and myself, we've taken the current contract that we have with Memorial. It's actually, it's the contract we also use with Puckett in the previous, when they were here. And we've taken that contract and we're revising it using the same format, keeping it pretty consistent, but making a few changes. As things change, we're making changes with it as well. We made those changes. We met with some of the Puckett admin, which we have several of them right here, Puckett and Priority admin here with us tonight. We met with them, went over the changes with them. They gave us some input on some ideas. We took that draft, we sent that draft to Robin and back to them, to their attorneys as well. So it's been reviewed by both sides. We did meet, myself and Alex met with Don and Robin about it again. So we incorporated those changes into the pretty much the final draft that y'all have that has been sent to each commissioner. So I have spoke with the Vice President of Operations, Joe Dunn, about it, and according to them, let's correct that they have no changes they want to make. So it's, kind of in the final review form, or final review format of it right now to see where we go from there, which route y'all want to go with it.
Okay, so we met about a week ago, Robin. So this is a contract that we've had, I mean, Robin actually prepared this years ago. And
think
so,
since 2012.
it's our contract, it's not necessarily Puckett's contract or anybody else's. We created it years ago and have amended it towards, the current agreement. Y'all's attorneys have met, are happy with everything we've been told, and so Robin, you're happy with it. Commissioner Pullen brought up a good point the other day to me, and I agree. If you look on page 6 of this document, you'll see where it says temporary unavailability of ambulances. So if we had, how many ambulances? 3?
We have
two.
two that are frontline running all the time, and then 2 reserve backup.
Yeah, right.
So
So,
total of 4 in our fleet.
okay, so the word on 5.6 says the contractor may provide, and I mean, Bill, you found that. I think it's a good find. You want to talk about that just a little bit? We'd rather see shall, right?
Yeah,
I
I'd
mean,
just rather say shall.
yeah. And it's also under it's got 5.6 where it says the contractor may, so we can change that to shall provide. And then under 5.6.1, again, it uses the term may provide a float truck if it said shall. And then 5.6.2, about the 4th or 5th line down, contractor may temporarily provide an ambulance, again, using the word shall. And then 5.6.3, again, it says contractor may temporarily provide, if we can just use the word shall. We're all gonna be happy, I think. Is there any other changes? Are y'all satisfied with that?
And we're fine with that as well. Our
Okay.
goal would be to get a truck down here, so we don't have an issue with that
Okay.
being adjusted.
Okay.
Because this one primarily come from what, Chattanooga, right? Or Marion?
It could be a combination of both. Realistically, it's probably gonna be Chattanooga, but we're there for both options.
Okay. So what is the feeling? You just want to run the table, or you want to take more time, or, I mean, we've reviewed it.
No,
Yeah.
when I looked at it, no. And we've had plenty of dialogue about it, back and forth, you know what I mean? And that kind of thing, and it's our contract to begin with, and Puckett's cooperated and graduated with us on this, so I'm in favor of it.
Yeah,
Philip? Okay. So it's not until effective what?
February 1st.
February 1st, all right, February 1st. And so we're aware of that with the budget. We actually edited the budget down to accommodate, at first we had the full 200,000 in there. We do realize that just as long as y'all remember, we did pull that down to what exactly it's going to be. But next year, there'll be an increase, but it's just for the full 12 months versus just the February through June 30th.
Right.
Okay. I'm good with putting it on the consent agenda for approval, if y'all are. I mean, everybody happy?
Yep.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you, Kyle. Thank y'all. Number 7 is declaring results of an election. So legally, Robbie can talk about this if we need to, but in the SPLOST, there's a bond question, and because of that, we have to recognize the official results of the continuation of the special 1% sales tax that was passed, and the referendum that held on May 19th, and whereas 1,564 votes were cast yes and 913 no, therefore it did pass for the SPLOST to continue for July 1st of 2027 for a 6-year period. Any questions on that? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We always have to do this, and then we submit this on to the Pennell Law Firm for them to finalize everything with the State of Georgia Department of Revenue.
No, I'm good with it.
All right. No questions. We'll add that consent agenda for approval. Resolution number 8 is Resolution R-35-26. We have 3 different resolutions for declaring surplus property that's considered capital equipment of the past. First thing is a Ford Escape. It's 2015 Ford Escape with a clean title, unit number 43. Any questions on that? It was formerly used by the Transportation Department. They gave us a new car, they being Meals on Wheels. Actually, it's the Meals on Wheels vehicle, and they paid for it. They then title it over to the county, whereas we provide insurance on it, but they actually bought it for us. So, but they allow us to sell the old one and keep the proceeds. Any questions? All right, we'll be adding that to the consent agenda for approval, and also note that that will be placed on Gov Deals probably Monday or early next week, I would think. So you can check if you're at home looking to see when that goes online. It'll probably be early next week. 1986 Chevrolet Kodiak. I'm sorry, let me back up. Resolution R-36-26. Again, is surplus property. This is for a 1986 Chevrolet Kodiak. It's unit 254. Has 93,774 miles on it. Formerly owned by the South Dade Fire Department. Again, with a clean title. Any questions on that? All right, we'll add that consent agenda for disposal. Number 10 is Resolution R-37-26, and that is again declaring surplus property from Westbrow Fire Department, Unit 192. It's a Simon duplex ladder truck in 1993. The title is clean, but the engine is no more. Right, Rodney? It does not run. It is not running, so it would have to be towed off the mountain. But it's been sitting there a while. The purpose, again, of getting these cleaned off is really to take them off of our insurance, because we continue to pay insurance on these vehicles if they're on our books. So, all right. Any questions on that? Disposing of that.
Just to clarify, the reason we're selling the Kodiak, we're replacing things that are newer to carry on. We've already done that, haven't we?
Thinking that was their tanker truck, which they were
Yeah.
sending you for.
Yeah, that's correct.
We don't have a ladder truck yet, but that's.
We do not.
But
And
it's
we're
in the
talking.
works.
Yeah, it is in the works, and Rodney Miller's here tonight, and he's been coming for weeks and attending different SPLOST meetings, and so Westbrow residents have a definite interest in replacement of this truck. Ladder trucks are extremely expensive. A new one would probably run in $2-point-something million. We are in the process of, they're very pleased with the idea of getting a used truck. But this all falls under the new SPLOST, and the new SPLOST doesn't start till next year. The need, however, is now, right? And Rodney and them will come most likely at the August meeting to talk to us about that, along with Rodney Ross and the chairman of the Chiefs meeting, because being a SPLOST project, even though it's future SPLOST, they're involved from the standpoint of approval through the chiefs, all the chiefs. They don't have to have unanimous, but they do need a majority. And so we prefer unanimous, but hey, whatever. And so they'll be coming in August, meeting to talk about this and give y'all more information on their request. Where I was going with my statement a minute ago is we are in the process of trying to attain a grant, most likely congressional spending bill. And then we have received word that we can use those some of the proceeds on used. Now, they're not going to go too far out on a limb on used, but some of the trucks are replaced in bigger cities quite often, and the cost could be significantly less than $2 million, right, Rodney? I mean, just so we know, y'all looked at one that's what, about 600 something?
680,000?
Yep. So there's still a lot of money, but you know, if we can hopefully attain some grant financing for it. We can't say how much grant yet. Is it 50-50? Is it 80-20? We don't know. I mean, they're all over the place. So anyway, but that's the goal, and just more information, lots of more information. So, but this one has been sitting there for 5 years, and it's not really done any. 4 years been not running. So, any other questions? All right, hearing none, we'll add that consent agenda for approval. Number 11 is a proposed amendment to ordinance number 04-06-17 for alcohol beverage control board, and we have proof of age requirement. Robin, do you want to talk about that? We have the chairman here. Are you the chairman now? Mr. Chairman's here. So, Robin, if you want to just briefly tell us quickly what.
So currently the county ordinance says that IDs have to be checked for everyone purchasing alcoholic beverages. And so the request was made, and the ABC board reviewed it to change that to require that IDs be checked for any person for whom there could be a reasonable doubt that you're 21 years of age. So this came up several times. I think people who were well beyond 21 had to show ID, and it became a bit of an issue. And so we changed that to more consistently follow whatever the state statute says on that, and they require the reasonable doubt standard. So that puts us in line with the state.
Well, and to add to that, it's, we're not really in an area where there's bars or anything like that. So you're talking about restaurants that are around here, and a lot of these venues that are getting bartenders to serve alcohol, and then you're at a wedding and you have to have your ID so it's more, you know, we have more wedding venues that are kind of struggling with that than we do restaurants. So that's where it kind of came up.
Does that sum it up, Mr. Chairman, or you want us to add anything?
They're supposed to have, whoever has the wedding is supposed to have someone on the side serving that alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bartender.
Yep.
You know, to keep up with if you're eligible or you're not eligible.
Okay. All right. Any questions? Everybody good with adding that? So what this is, we're approving just the first reading. It would require a second reading. If we were to have a special call meeting, we could add it, or we will just wait till the August meeting to have the final reading. And that will be where it would become approved. But as far as the first reading is, we will add that consent agenda for approval.
Yeah, but I do want to make it clear that we are not saying that you do not check IDs, because the state is still going to be out there looking at that sort of thing. So,
right. This is if you're 99 years old.
Yes.
You might not have to be carded at a restaurant, right?
yes.
And I think that, anyway, I'll be nice. I was going to, anyway. Number 12. Number 12, we're going to go mill and
Yeah,
trade.
all right, since you're being
No.
about it, okay, you know, I knew I had become an old man when all of a sudden I was checking out of a place and the woman asked me, would you like the senior citizens discount, right? I went home and put myself on suicide watch for a couple of months, you know?
Yeah, that's nice, great, all right. Number 12 is millage rate. There's no, nothing to approve here. This is just to go over the process that we follow. Of course, back in April, the digest was completed. All updates were entered by Chief Appraiser in the Board of Assessors Office. May the 7th, the County Property Digest was approved by the Board of Assessors. June the 3rd, the Digest Board of Assessment notices were mailed out. I'll just quickly say, Paula came and talked about this last month, but if you received that, it's one of the most useless notices I've ever seen in my life. But that's just my personal opinion. I didn't necessarily like last year's either, but last year had a whole lot more data on it to actually mean something. This one is really somewhat confusing, and a lot of people have called or brought it in, but she's been able to really inform them what it's saying. And most people have been very satisfied with it, but it is not very straightforward in its method. But that assessment notice is created by the state of Georgia, and it's sent out to all 159 counties. So they didn't ask our opinion of it, unfortunately. If you don't like it, you could talk to your state legislator. I will just say that. All right, Monday. So we're in that 45-day process right now. Monday, July 20th will be when we upload final changes or any settlement information from a filed appeals to the original digest. And probably on Monday or Tuesday of that week, we should have what's called consolidation sheets created. And the consolidation sheets are generated through the tax commissioner. So that information will come from Angie Galloway and then transmitted to us here in our office, where we will begin calculating what the mill is worth for Dade County. And so Rebecca's already been in touch with Angie about this, so we're on par right now to get that information. It might happen a day or two before we put Wednesday, July 15th. We're hoping it will. But we really don't have anything until the final day, which is the 20th. And actually, July 20th is technically the 46th or 7th day, but it's because there's a weekend involved there. If the value were to exceed the rollback rate, then there is required advertisement of 3 public hearings. We are required, regardless, to advertise the 5-year history and issue a press release. That's regardless of if we're changing anything or not. And that happens, hopefully that will be in the paper on Wednesday, August the 5th. So look for mid-August for some special called meetings. Those are things that we typically do in July, but this whole process got delayed about 2.5 weeks early on because of the assessment notice. The state failed to get it to the counties in time for us to get it out that first week of May, which we've always had in the years past. But anyway, they didn't get it to us till late May, and therefore we didn't get them out till June. So anyway, we have to wrap it all up, hopefully well before September 1st, which is around Labor Day. And then following that process, Tax Commissioner Angie Galloway will send out generate property tax bills, which will then go out and typically are due back in Dade County by November 15th each year. So that was just information. Just wanted to share that. Does anybody got any questions?
No, it's good information.
All right. Nothing to vote on or approve. Number 13 is information on FLOST. FLOST is called the Floating Option Local Sales Tax. We introduced this last month, and FLOST, we've heard quite a bit of talk about FLOST versus L-Host. And FLOST is a property, it is to relieve, it was passed by the Georgia legislature this year. 2024. FLOST was passed by the 2024 legislature and allows for counties to have it on the books for 5 years. You can have it in increments of 0.05 all the way up to 1%, all right? So you could have, can't have 1.5%, but you could have 0.95%. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could. FLOSS does reduce property taxes on all property owners, meaning agricultural, commercial, industrial, personal, real, all, not just homestead. It does require an intergovernmental agreement with the city. And the weird thing about that is there's no technical split. It has to happen, but most likely in an IGA, you would identify how you want to split those proceeds. Meaning, you know, how many tax parcels are there in the city, or we'll call the incorporated area, because the city folks here do pay county taxes. It's called incorporated taxes. And the city also, residents also pay a city tax, which is for City Hall, not us, but City Hall. That's streets, sidewalks, lighted streets, garbage pickup at their curb, those kind of things. And so a police force, et cetera, fire services, et cetera. And so FLOSS can benefit both the county and the city across the board, no matter if it's rental property or homestead. LHOST is local homestead option sales tax. It is a 10-year SPLOST, but you have to seek a what's called a local act, and a local act has to be, we would have to pass a resolution requesting our local legislative delegation, meaning our state senator or our state representative, to introduce the bill for the county. And basically you do that, the county has to do that for two purposes. One is to establish a new exemption, and the second part of that is for the county to require or create the actual sales tax and the outline of the sales tax district, which technically is just the county borders. No IGA is required with LHOST. It is only at 1%. They don't give you incremental division, and it's for 10 years. The thing about that is it only benefits homestead properties.
Yeah, that's not good.
Homestead properties. Now, if you know, only if it's like a lot of people, it's homestead properties, it may reduce theirs a little bit more than the FLOST, but commercial, rental, agricultural, it would not benefit those properties. It's our understanding at all. I lean towards FLOST. I don't know how y'all feel about it. Now, let me just tell the people. So FLOST, what it will do, the floating homestead,
Floating local
I'm sorry,
option.
yeah, floating local option sales tax will, it's treated like a local option sales tax. It's also treated like the insurance premium tax, whereas there'll be a ratio. Let's say it's $3 million is collected from this penny, we were doing, 1%, then those proceeds would be spread across all the property, and your taxes would go down by a percentage. All we can do is take a look at what loss does, and it's what, about 3 mils maybe? I don't know. It's always between 1.8 and about 3 mil decrease. It depends on how much tax is collected that year. If you have a recession happening and you don't collect as much, then it can go down. If you have more, it would go up. If it goes up, the collection, that means that's more money to spread across all the property. I'm for it from the standpoint of just letting people vote on it, because that's all we have to do. FLOST, you do not have to seek a local act. The way it was written, the local act was built into county commissions. The governing authorities of each county have the right to seek one time. Following that, at 5th year, we would have to go back before our legislative delegation, ask for a local act, unless they change the law, which they can do that. But right now, we'd have to seek that delegation. And typically, local acts are approved pretty unanimously in Atlanta. And then we'd have to go back to the people that time as well and let them vote on it again. All right.
Well, I'm in favor of the floating local option sales tax as it covers all sorts of properties and not just homeowners. You know, and so I know a lot of people have farms, a lot of people have rentals, a lot of people have a lot of other stuff that they put their time, effort, and energy and money into. And I'd like to give them all a tax benefit.
Yeah, same here. And I mean, I especially want them to make that choice for themselves. So, and that's what we're doing here is just allowing that to go on and to be voted on so that they can make that choice.
Yeah, it says a voter referendum. Yeah.
Bill?
I agree. I agree with what they both said.
So if we do the floss, we can't do the L host.
You can't.
So if we done the L host, is there a possibility that it would wipe out homestead exempted properties completely? They wouldn't have to worry about losing their homes because they can't afford to pay their property tax.
Yes.
So that would be my,
But a floss technically could do the same thing. It just depends on the,
you're spreading it out over a bigger,
no, you're right, but I'm saying if your taxable liability, so if you have a $100,000 home, but depending on your age, let's say you're 70, you qualify for the county's homestead exemption, you qualify for the 65.5 for the school boards, and then you've made no enhancements or whatever to your property, and your exemption, your actual taxable value then, after the 40% value is calculated, is say $15,000. I mean, that's low. Don't get me wrong. That's a lot of exemptions, but that would be low. And you would only be paying taxes on $15,000. Now, we'll take this, and it most likely would wipe out any kind of tax on that person. But there's a lot of people that's way above that tax.
the only thing, and this would be the conversation I would like to have on the L host is, if it brings in 3 million, 2 million, wipes out that tax base on property taxes, then that other million gets split up amongst
It does.
the other properties. So both can actually benefit from L host. The homeowner in general is gonna, in my opinion, that's homesteaded, is gonna benefit more from the L host.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that too.
So, the reason this came about is the General Assembly met in special session recently in June. And so they had several counties, right at 100 counties and cities apply for the L host. But ultimately, after all that work, it got voted down. Now, that's on the legislature, whatever. So now it's back to the drawing board as of January 1st, when they meet. The law was originally January 1st anyway, 2027, which means, we would have to wait to have a local act introduced at that time. Floss you can do today. L host will have to wait till January, have it approved, and then you have to have a special called election, which means if for some reason the city, let's just say the city, there was no need to have an election because they actually have it built in their charter where if no one changes, they don't even have to have an election. I think that's still in effect. Then there would actually be no election next year. But if we had an L host, we would have to pay for a special election. But you can use proceeds. You can use, at least you can on SPLOST. Haven't read the law, but typically you can use proceeds that first time to pay for that election. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that would run about $20,000 to $23,000 for a special election in Dade County. But it's also when you only have one question on the ballot, and it's really hard to get people out for one question.
Yeah, special election.
They're out this fall for the governor's race, lieutenant governor's race, several other Secretary of State's race. And so you'd have a lot better population voting.
Yeah, so pretty much what you're saying is that if we wait and let the people vote, it would give us a choice if it voted yes to do one or the other,
And see,
but we would have to wait till all
Yeah.
that process
you
was
could even
done.
do a floss next year. I mean, you
Okay.
just, but a L host, you will definitely have to wait till next year. And that's if the legislature approves our request. I mean, we
Right.
have to have a local act introduced and passed by the General Assembly. It's possible they would vote no on it. I can't imagine why they would do that, but they just did it over 100 bills that they all failed. Now, I think there's some politics behind that, the reason that happened, but I didn't even know that till yesterday. If this one were to pass, okay, back up. So if you put Flawstone there tonight, all you're doing is saying, yes, we will allow the people to vote on it this November. And it will be attached to the current ballot. There's no additional expense other than drawing up the paperwork to do it. If it were to pass, it's my understanding collections could begin as early as January, and it will run January through, I think, July-ish, I'm not sure. And then, so the first year, you only get the benefit of those 6 or 7 months, right? The next year, you'll get the full cycle of 12 months. That means on the very tail end of this thing, there'll be another time where you might only get 4 months, you know? So it's kind of over a 7-year period, but it's 6-year period, but it's actually just 5 technical years.
Right, right.
But it's good. So the first year might be 2/3. The next year will be a full, whatever it is how much they're going to roll back. But the state calculates that. So our question is, unfortunately, 90 days, you have to, when it's a regular election year, you have to do this 90 days. Had Robin check into it, and so guess when 90 days is? That's August the 6th. Guess when our next meeting is? August the 7th. Now, we could have, again, a special call meeting to do this, but if you're interested in letting them do it, I mean, I would support letting people vote on it this fall, but if you're any hesitation, I'll go either way.
People that heard about this and they asked me, they said, well, don't we get a chance to vote on this, you know? And I said, yeah, you do. You know what I mean? So there's some interest in, So I think if you put all the cards on the table, let people vote for it, that'll be a good thing. And do it on an election where they're actually gonna come out and vote.
I don't have an issue with letting them vote on it, but I think we need to do a really good job of explaining both of them, not just promoting the floss.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Both needs to be out there.
I think-
Yep.
And my other question is, if it passes, what's the terms and conditions of the millage rate or property taxes after this passes? Does it stay lower, or do we come back and want to go up on the millage rate on that aspect?
You have the right to adjust the millage rate. It's my understanding. But, I mean, we typically we have traditionally, I'll just say traditionally, tried to maintain the millage rate at the same level. In that scenario, it will
Go down.
reduce by whatever amount is collected that first year. Again, the second year, you'll have a full 12 months and it will be more. Again, based off of lost, I mean, if it's 1%, then it's around, I said 1.8, let's just say 2 to 3 mills usually come off. If we have higher sales, it can be higher.
Okay.
Yeah, good?
I wouldn't say good, but
Well, we agree that
Yes.
it needs to be on the ballot, and we agree that we have to get the word out and make sure everybody understands.
Now, the difference in this and L-Host is, L-Host, the city also had to vote on it, and because we only have one city, they would have had to pass it. Or they would have had to get the local act under an L-Host. Am I saying that right? L-Host?
Yes.
yeah, I think you
Yeah,
are. Yeah.
but they do not have to do that in this case, the floss. We just have to work out the agreement. And so what will be next will be us to do an intergovernmental agreement with the city and work out the difference. You know, how much? Is it 20/80? Is it 10/90? Is it 25/75? I mean, you know, whatever. So, all right. All right, I'm going to add that to consent agenda for approval. Floating option sales tax referendum, call for a referendum. 14 is T-Splost. It's the same scenario, similar scenario, but not tax, but it is again, up to 1% tax. It's my understanding, unless it's changed, it can be done in increments of 0.25. We have tried to pass T-Splost in the past. It did not pass, but the first 2 elections we did that was horrible timing on our part. And again, it was years where we did it in a summer where there's not a county type election, it was city elections. So this one is, you do have to invite the city, which we would have invite the city. I can't recall exactly on that IGA how we had it split out. Was it, did you know if it's 20/80? Yeah.
You mean what percentage?
Yeah,
I don't.
I can't remember either. I can't remember if it's 16.29 or if, one we've got by population. But if you think about a T-Splost is for transportation improvement. We, in the past, have tried to do everything from certain sidewalks and this and that and enhancements to railroad crossings and everything. My suggestion is if we do this, you pave roads, period. You pave roads. So I asked Billy to be here, but Billy's off today, so I doubt Billy will be here. So, and again, unfortunately, it's the 90-day rule for T-Splost as well.
So you're saying you had to get a referendum for the T-Splost? Yeah, I'm definitely for that.
My only other thing is we got a lot of narrow roads in Dade County.
We do.
And I don't know, I mean, you can't fix all of them, but widening some of them sometime, but this may not be the thing we need to include it on. I'm not saying it is, but.
Well, it definitely could. I mean, that's what it's about, is improvement of,
It would qualify.
yeah.
It's for anything roads.
Yeah, it's,
Now, the city, most likely, their portion, I can't speak for them what they would do, but I would assume it would be paving roads as well as sidewalks. They deal
yeah.
with sidewalks, we don't, so, you know, but. And I know there's been a movement to get a sidewalk from, like Moore Funeral Home, connecting that sidewalk down to the high school. But you would not think that'd be hard, but it's been very hard.
Yeah.
And very expensive, unbelievably expensive. But they can access a grant, but even with that grant, it's not been enough local resources for them to afford it. Question?
No, I'm in favor of putting T-Splost out there to see if people
Yeah.
want. Yep, I agree.
Philip?
We're putting it on the ballot, and they can vote on it.
All right. Okay, so we'll add that to consent agenda for approval and let the people vote on it. All right, any other business? Hearing none, we'll recess and come back at, might as well say 7 o'clock. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. This is the regular meeting of the Dade County Board of Commissioners, and is hereby called to order at this time. Make sure I have my glasses. At this time, I will ask Brother Jerry Atkins to come lead us in the invocation. And General, if you would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to begin tonight's meeting. If we could all do, oh.
We got different.
We got a sub.
It's not Jerry, sorry.
Yes, okay.
It's Chris Ware.
Chris Ware from Piney Grove Baptist, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir. Let's
Good to
pray.
have you tonight.
Yes, sir. Lord, we humbly bow in your presence with grateful hearts for the freedoms that we enjoy in this country. Thank you for this weekend and what it means for us to celebrate that. And thank you for everybody who served to provide that for us. Thank you for this team of people who have dedicated themselves to serve this community and this county. I just pray over them that you give them discernment and wisdom, innovation, collaboration, just ideas that are beyond their ability that you could give them to help do the very best job that they can. I pray your blessing upon this meeting and this county. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Everyone face our flag, hand over heart, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brother Chris Ware, thank you very much for your words tonight. All right. This is the regular scheduled meeting of the Dade County Board of Education. I'm on the wrong board. I hadn't done this since 1996, y'all. Board of Commissioners, which takes place at the same time of the first Thursday of every month. Proper notice of this meeting was given in the legal organ of Dade County and has been posted in the hallway of the administrative building. At this time, I'll call the roll and have it recorded by the clerk. Dr. Pullen.
Present.
Mr. Hartline.
Present.
Mr. Woods.
Here.
Mrs. Bradford.
Here.
And the chair is present. We have a quorum and therefore a legal meeting. This time we have citizens' participation. Mrs. Audrey Clark signed up, so come on up, Madam Clark.
Well, because the fact that it's July, everybody, and I feel like temperature right now of 105 degrees, it's time to announce and talk about the annual Dade County Christmas Parade. Yay. Mainly I'm here tonight, of course, to announce it and to announce the theme for the 2026 parade. And this year, we were thinking it's a really good idea to this year's theme to be an American Christmas. So it will be the second Saturday in December, and that's I'll look that up. That's December the 12th, and it will begin at 6. Of course, there's a lot of time to get all this information between now and December, but it does take some time to not participate, but prepare. That's my P word I'm looking for. It's this heat, y'all. Anyway, that's why you're on the school board tonight, Dawn.
Yeah,
it's
right.
the heat getting to
Thanks.
us all. Anyway, and of course, we invite anybody and everybody, clubs, churches, anybody that wants to participate to be a part of this because it is for our community. When you want more information, call us down at the Bank of Dade and we'll give you everything. But you can put that in your notes right now. The second Saturday in December, an American Christmas. And Bank of Dade is very, very proud to sponsor this and be a part of this for our community. So thanks, guys, for your time. Happy 4th of July. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. At this time, I'll call upon each commissioner to make any point of personal privilege. Mr. Pullen.
If I could have my slides, please. You're close. Next one. These are pictures of the bridge over I-24, Sligo Road. The one on the left was earlier. The one on the right is, let's say, a week ago, 5 days ago, something like that. they are coming along with it. They've got the, I guess, the infrastructure part of it in there. Maybe they'll have it by what they've got posted on the sign there. But they are working. There's still some intermittent traffic blocks and people coming over Sligo Ridge, but it's in the progress. Next slide. I had the privilege of going down to the Lake Point. It's a resort kind of thing. It's like a football, baseball, tennis, basketball, and they had this conference really about recreation opportunities in northwest Georgia. It's primarily was the counties in Georgia. They had breakout sessions, and then they had general sessions. And that place is huge. The little room we were in, they could have 12 basketball games at one time, or 24 pickleball games going at one time. And then there was all kinds of stuff outside. But it's been a great economic benefit for Bartow County. Their Soul County executive got up and talked about how all the rooms for rent around there were always filled, and it's been a big benefit. Dade County was a featured breakout section. Noel Durant got up, and he was with the Georgia-Alabama Land Trust, and talked about the reservoir or the community forest, and land going up the side of Lookout Mountain, tying into Cloudland Canyon, and how it goes over and ties in with Lula Lake, and goes on around. But he made a very good presentation, and he put Dade County in a good light. He had a long talk, but I think he did us right. And besides that, there was a lady for the Georgia Conservancy, Catherine Moore. She's the president or CEO. She's the head dog down there, and talked about the economic impact of tourism. And I've heard some things about them, but I always thought they were down more in the Brunswick, Savannah area, the Okefenokee Swamp, but they are up around Dahlonega and Clarksville, Georgia, and other places. But agribusiness was $90 billion, forestry was $42 billion, and recreation was $21 billion. It's big in Georgia, and it's second only behind the forestry and the chickens and the peaches and some things like that. The total visitor spending in Georgia was $46.3 billion in 2023. Boating and fishing are the most lucrative, and recreational spending in rural counties was $379.1 million. Total visitors for the Georgia State Parks was 14.1 million. Now, she was using 2023 figures. She sent me her slides, and I'd be glad to make them available to anybody, but there's 391 towns in Georgia with a population 500 or less, which compromises 73% of total people. That's what I'm trying to get around to. It's 73% of it. Just 391 towns, less than 500. And only 25% of the population in Georgia, they live on 92% of Georgia land. And I was just amazed at those figures, but you can read those things if you want me to send you those slides. But the Georgia Land Conservancy has a little different twist on this stuff than GALT. That's Georgia Alabama Land Trust. And Donna, you gonna talk about our meeting with them more later on?
You go ahead.
Well, I'm happy for you to do it.
No.
But, the thing that Dade County doesn't have, you know, Chickamauga Lake, and, we aren't gonna do a lot of boating, but I think recreation is gonna be something that Dade County is gonna have to lean more and more on. Now, I don't know which one, I've thought about this a lot. I don't know what's the chicken or the egg here, but we've got to have, some infrastructure things, and we've got to have some more things to go with it, but do we need more visitors before we can get motels and things here? And the figures I've seen, most people are leaving Dade County and going up to Chattanooga to stay and eat. And, we're gonna have to get something to keep them down here. But anyway, I'm just throwing that out there to you. But it was a very good meeting. Caleb Bradley and I went together down there. And, I guess that was primary highlights of, my month. So.
Well, you got to go to the beach and get some shells.
Oh, yeah.
And do a first family vacation.
I goofed off last month, and my wife had orders, and I went to Panama City Beach. Sorry about that. They already deducted that from my paycheck.
It only took 40 years to get you there. So. Do you have the 911 report, or is that something?
Yeah, it's we'll get back at my notes. It's there. Y'all can read those figures. I can read them to you, but the Dade Fire, which is Station 1 and 4, that's the most, and then you have Dade Emergency Services that responds, and Davis and New Home, which is combined. You know, we had a little putting together of the fire departments, but it's still running about the same. One of these days I'm gonna sit down and do a running average. I'll get on my $10 computer and run that, but EMS is about the same. Your police, that's Georgia State Patrol, county, 1,835 calls, and I don't see actually Alex, but the new 911 addresses and stuff are about the same. We're getting about the same every month, as far as I remember. That's all I've got.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Nope, great. Thank you for that report. Mr. Hartline.
I'll start with electrical inspections. We had 26 for the month of June. We had 23 for May. Somebody asked the other day if I could break it down more. So we had 5 new construction, 3 temporary poles set in to start building more. We had 6 alterations, which is probably a remodel. I had to put a new disconnector, meter base on the outside of the house. Then you got barn, garage, workshops, had 2 of them. Mobile homes and campers, we had 5, and then others. I don't know, the others might be I wouldn't think it'd be a failed inspection, but it could have been, or some other reason.
The other one on this was the, storage at the sports complex.
Oh, that was, okay. We had to add some power to the sports complex, so that's where the other one come in at, okay. But we're averaging about the same. 4, 5, 6 new houses a month every month. I mean, it's been that way for about 1.5 years, 2 years now. We'll go over to the sports complex. We've got soccer sign-ups going on through the middle of August. Football's gonna start practicing, or probably the middle of this month, or maybe done started. Games will start in August. Softball registration is July the 6th through July the 19th. Tank and them had been working on the bathroom, what we call the middle bathrooms up by the playground. They redone the floors. It looks a lot better now than it did. It's gonna be a lot easier for them to keep it clean. That old tile on the grout, it was getting pretty rough, so it looks a lot better now with the new floors. We should be done by the middle of the month on the concession stand and the storage building. They're painting now, and all we gotta do is set the air conditioning unit and get a garage door on it, and we should be pretty much done with that project. And that's all I have.
Gotcha. Mr. Woods.
go, thank you. All right. All right, let's start off with something I talk about every year. Cloudland Canyon in June of every year has a great little camp called the Junior Ranger Camp. It starts at 9 in the morning, and you pick up your children at 3 in the afternoon, and they're headquartered out of the Interpretive Center, which is on the main road going into Cloudland Canyon. But the kids love it. Now, here's what everybody's got to know. They only take 10 children. All right? They only take 10. And I'll tell you, this year, they had 5 that were there last year, and they came back because they really enjoyed themselves. They have numerous hikes. They have numerous activities. They go fishing like you see it all there on the pictures. They have journals of their time there. They learn all about what to look for, what to stay away from when they go through the woods and all that. So if you have a young child, 8 to 10 years old, that's interested in doing this, please contact Cloudland Canyon. You won't be disappointed. They have 3 staffers that do it, and they're just great, and their heart and soul's into it. So I brag on them every year. Next chart, please. All right, let's talk about the Trenton Dade Animal Center. The building update, it's now HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and the walls are all with the architect. So they've gotten past all the other stuff that's just being developed. It's with the architect, so that ought to be coming back pretty soon. The director update, this is the 3rd month that I say that the job description's being worked. If you're interested in having this job, call the city and just ring their phone off the hook, okay? Because, I'm embarrassed to sit here and telling you the job description is still being worked. I mean, we already had someone hired for this, so it shouldn't be any major revisions. So just call the city and say, hey, what's going on with this? I'm interested. I want to get to work, right? So, we're not trying to figure out what, a president or a prime minister ought to do. We're talking about an animal center director. So city needs to get off there. Anyway, they just need to get this job description out there. All right. The TDAC meetings, we were holding them monthly, and I mentioned last time it's now quarterly. The next one will be in September. Next chart, please. There you go. Okay. Did you skip one that had all the monthly stats on the TDAC? There you go. The Trenton Dade Animal Center, you can see the numbers. They brought in 7 this time, but including some they already had. They had 8 outgoing. Audrey Lux Rescue, she brought in 98, 83 went, and Monda, 75 were spayed and neutered, which is a great thing, because I think the spayed and neuter thing, if you get that done, that'll help reduce a lot of the concerns that we have. All right, next chart, please. All right, the good old senior center. I'll say it every time. It gives our senior citizens a place to go. It gives them a reason to get up. It gives them activities to do, right? And it increases their quality of life. There's no doubt about it. The senior center is a great place. Next chart, please. In fact, earlier tonight, Penny was brought up, Penny Keaton and Don, and they recognized that the 16th of July was Rural Transit Day. That's a resolution that's important because Penny and her team get up early every single day. I'm talking about early, right? And transport people everywhere. For this doctor's appointment, urinalysis, you name it, right? All sorts of stuff. Dialysis going on. And hey, the total trips last month was 821. They put 11K over 11,000 miles on it, and they spent 752 hours doing it. So we appreciate, Penny, everything you do for our senior citizens and running the transportation program for us. Next chart. The bottom line of this one, the takeaway, is that if you're hungry, go to the senior center for lunch. They got good chow. Just remember that. Last time, over 1,500 meals, okay? Some were there at the senior center, some were sent home, and it was going to be coming up, it's going to be probably around 1,200 or so for the month of July, and we'll see how it goes. All right, that's it for this month. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mrs. Bradford.
All right. Well, first I wanted to mention Overlook. The last update that I've had with them with the glass recycling was that we were doing well. The communication was that we would plan a time for him to come in and do an example of what's going to happen and how it's going to be and exactly what all the sign up will entail. I am not sure yet because I have not got anything other than the numbers were high 80s the last time. I don't know, Carrie, have you heard anything else? Yeah, so you know, keep going out to that Facebook link. You know, just do the survey helps, even if you're not interested in glass recycle, but it does help. And then I wanted to touch on the newspaper recycling. Everything is going well, but there still is a lot of plastic bags, plastic things, different items in the container. And our lovely people that take some out and put some in, they will go through and clean it out themselves. So if we could just really try to put newspaper in there, it would be very helpful to everyone. And it's not quite the 4th, but New Salem had their 4th of July, and I just wanted to thank them for their show and everything that they put on was fantastic. Many families enjoy that every year, and it's a very big deal. So this weekend will be a lot of fireworks and enjoyment, so be safe, protect each other, and be patient. So and that's all that I've got.
And the newspaper, that's just newspaper?
Yes.
Right.
Just newspaper, no ads, no shiny stuff, no magazines.
So, yeah, so all the political things that we get in the mail, we can't bring to there?
No. No.
Well, if you did bring the political things, you'd fill it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my point. That's what I
It's
was wondering.
mainly,
Yeah.
it's mainly a reuse of newspaper.
Newspaper.
And it's not those shiny pieces of paper or hard papers. They don't really fall into that category of helping, whether you're using it for a craft or you're using it to lay down a garden or animals or anything like that. It doesn't, those, because I have a whole pile right here that needs to go to recycling, so it's just newspaper.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you very much for the reports this month. Early on the month, we had the opportunity to take a team over to the Catoosa County College and Career Academy. This is a career academy that's located there next to the colonnade on the right, and it was quite impressive. We got to see, it's basically like a college university campus. You get that feel when you walk in. Just getting some ideas about Dade County, you know, maybe there's some possibility, we'd like to see a possibility of some kind of campus here in Dade County in the future. They teach, there was a welding class, there was craftsman class, electrician's class, plumbing class, but then they had all kinds of other things upstairs, getting into health services, basically like having an ER set up, just lots of different tracks and educational attainment things that they can go through and do. And it's for students, primarily younger people, college students, but they also have some adults that participate in that. Earlier that morning, we visited also the Chattanooga Construction Career Center. And this is located down kind of behind Memorial Hospital. I forgot what the road is there, but I mean, it's sponsored by mostly, well, they have a lot of different partnerships from the state of Tennessee all the way down to the city of Chattanooga, Hamilton County School Board, but then even into the union people that, like the electrical unions, plumbers, that sponsor a room. And so, again, this is something that I'd like to see Dade County participate in, have one here. We have a great program over at the high school. The teacher is excellent, and students come through that program excited about the possibility of a trade. And if you don't think we'll have trades, we're all going to use trades. I used one this week. HVAC started going out on me on Tuesday, and so, you know, when it's 100-something degrees, you want your AC working. So, but this Construction Career Center is not only for students, it is primarily students, younger folks, but it's also for adults too. And so I would love to see something like that come to Dade County, and something that we can start looking towards and focusing on in the future. But it was a great crowd that day that went with us, and I appreciate everybody that participated, especially the Alliance for Dade folks were very present, and they have a subcommittee of inside their group that is kind of helping promote some of this stuff. One of our guys did not get to make it. That's Hans Thunder from Trenton Pressing, but I hope to take him up there sometime and show him this Construction Career Center. And if you're ever near that, it's something to see. Property tax assessment notices, as you well know, did go out this past month. Just remember, if you're a property owner in Dade County, you have the right to appeal that. And if you have any questions about that, call the tax assessor's office. It's 657-6341, and or stop by and see them. You have till July 20th to do that. You also have this year, I believe under the new law, the right to continue to file a homestead exemption. I believe it's through July 20th. And used to that deadline was in April, but the law has extended that. So make sure you get those things done, but July 20th is right around the corner, believe it or not. And of course, as we talked about earlier, we will by that time know what we can calculate our millage rate, one mill at in Dade County. The next comprehensive planning or comprehensive plan visioning session is scheduled for July 21st. If you participated in that first go around about a month ago, we would love to invite you back. If you did not get to come that night and you want to come, you feel free to, but it's at 5 p.m. in the upstairs, the historic courthouse. It is part of our joint City of Trenton / Dade County comprehensive plan. It's a very good thing to go through. As the county commissioners, we will see towards the end result, we'll be getting those documents to filter through ourselves and go through. We have a responsibility to take a look at some of the finalization of the matter, and that will be primarily next spring, late winter and early spring. But right now we're still in the taking a look at all the information we collected from the visioning session, and also information collected while we were out talking about SPLOST. And so again, July 21st will be another great session. The Northwest Georgia Regional Commission, Ethan Calhoun and well, I forgot her name. Anyway, is working on that. They're our facilitator for that. And so Julianne Meadows, that's who I was trying to think of. Both will be back with us at that time, and we encourage you to come out. It's a great opportunity. If you want projects and ideas on that program, because that's how we qualify for federal and state grant money. If these programs, things that people have an interest in are not listed, it makes it a little more difficult to get those grant funds. But anyway, hopefully you can attend. quarterly department head meeting, we did have that this past month, had pretty good attendance. And still going over also our handbook. We've been reviewing the handbook this year. That's a long process, but we're going line by line and making sure if there's anything that needs to be updated. We'll be bringing any kind of changes to the Board of Commissioners. Again, probably late summer, early fall, collectively for that. The Georgia Housing Initiative meeting, that's called GIC, Georgia Initiative for Community Housing. That's our efforts toward trying to find more affordable housing in Dade County. And so we had a good meeting this past month. We try to meet about every 6 weeks or so. And so we'll be having another one of those soon. If you have an interest in serving in that, if you'll just let us know, we would be more than happy to have you join us and bringing more information about future opportunities and meeting with some possible developers here soon. They've actually been reaching out to us again because I think they picked up on the fact that we're GIC certified. And but anyway, Audrey loves GIC, right? I mean, she's one of our team members, and we appreciate that. Ribbon cutting for the Eleanor Armory took place, and this was the other day. It was so hot that 2 cameras almost melted down in the process of trying to film that and produce that video. But that's one of our deputies who opened a small business here in Trenton. It's next door to Monda's flooring store there on the right, across from the Methodist Church. So it's go over there and check them out and see what they offer. If you need some guns or armory or whatever, they've got it in there. It's a nice little store. We are under, for the next day or so, an extreme heat warning. As you know, the 1945-day fair is this weekend. Some fairs in the area have been called off. Our fair right now is still on. So I'm not calling it off. Don't get that word out. But Lord, I'd never lived that one down. But anyway, it will be hot. And so because of that, I ordered all the shelters open from now till Sunday. If you experience, air conditioning problems at home, or maybe you don't have air conditioning, and it's just extremely hot, we would encourage you to seek one of these at the sports complex, South Dade, or out on Sand Mountain. These are available, again, 24/7, and that will be until Sunday at 6 p.m. If we need, we'll extend it. There's an enhanced risk of showers this afternoon, but sometimes the moisture just makes it even worse. So feeling outside. But anyway, that is available for our folks in Dade County. We're glad to have that. I know our EMA director, Alex Case, is working on a grant for a 4th storm shelter, hopefully in the North Dade area this time. So we worked on it about 8 years ago. COVID hit and things delayed everything. So financing went away, but now the money is back through the grant program. And so we're applying for it. We'll see what happens, and hopefully we'll get some word on that. I don't have a lot to say, much more to say. Bill covered it all, I think, earlier on Noel, but we are working with Noel Durant on continuing efforts on the community forest land. There is some great things happening, and there's a lot of interest in that regionally. And when I say regionally, I'm talking about the entire southern United States. They're making Dade County quite an example, and so it's really exciting over there. It's some great partnerships that we're forging together, and so we continue to work on that. Again, if you have interest, you can call our office, seek that through Carrie, and we will get you in touch with Noel and some of the upcoming meetings. They'll be having some in the fall, one of which is kind of like a community kickoff event. They're hoping when it does cool off a little bit, late September maybe, early October, we're not sure yet, to have some folks come over to where the Flight Park has a training facility over on Lookout Creek. here, right west of Trenton, I guess you'd say, going up towards, east of Trenton, going up towards Lookout Mountain. And speaking of east of Trenton, the bridge is back on. We haven't talked a bunch about that lately, but GDOT says they are back on track with the bridge. I don't know what track they're on because they've been talking about that, it feels like, for 10 years. But the goal is, just so you know, they do not plan on closing Highway 136 east up Lookout Mountain. They will build a temporary bridge and to take the traffic. Hope it's a little bit bigger, wider than the one they had on Highway 11. That one was it looked much smaller when they were building it, but I guess it was big enough for two tractor trailers to pass. But anyway, but be aware that that is on track, and GDOT has other projects out there they're talking about. One of which, again, is major construction on I-59. At some point, I don't know when they're talking about a major project of repaving and digging it up to kind of like they did in Alabama. I don't know what that's going to cost GDOT, but it'll cost a lot. And also the project on the north end on I-24 has been discussed. It's hard to find somebody at GDOT to talk about it, but they talk about it at TDOT a lot. And so you may hear more about that within the next year or so, but that is, if you go towards Chattanooga, you know you're going to deal with traffic on I-24, and just pack some patience or go Highway 11 and go through Lookout Valley, because it's just random. I don't even know. There's never a wreck. It's just a lot of people going somewhere. But there is an idea of building a third lane in both directions, east and west, and they say they've got the money. We'll see. Also, again, on the new Parks restroom, I went down to the restroom this past Friday. It is spectacular. I mean, considering what it was, it's spectacular. It was, an old restroom. It might have been easier to tear it down, but we're glad we didn't. We renovated it, new flooring, painted, new LED lighting, new commodes and fixtures, hand dryers, and so kids that were scared to go in there before may actually be okay to go in there now. Everything's working, and so we're excited to have that up and running again. And at some point, probably we'll focus on the one over towards the shop area next, and then we'll look forward to getting of course, the concession stand ready. And because soccer will be back in the fall before you know it. Unbelievable. Anyway, all right.
Hey, Don.
Yes, sir.
I didn't say much, but this thing over there, the community forest, is a big deal. They're talking about Army Corps of Engineers.
Yeah.
Tying into Little Lake. They're going to get 7 miles of Lookout Creek where you can kayak and canoe down through there, and maybe changing the route of the creek. It was changed to where it is now in 1950 something, but the old bed is still there. But they may be turning it back where it was in 1950 whatever,
Yeah.
because the sides of the creek are, whatever they call it, they're falling off.
Right.
And helping the water quality of the water we all drink from Dade Water and Sewer. So it's a big deal. It is the only project of this magnitude probably in the South.
In the South, yeah. That's what we've been told. So it's quite a bit of money that a lot of folks are spending over there that's not from Dade County. But hey, we're excited they come to Dade County and spend some money, all right? So, make sure everyone knows Dade County governmental offices are closed tomorrow. It's a state holiday since the July 4th falls on Saturday. The state recognizes Friday. Therefore, the office will be closed, but the transfer station is open tomorrow. They will be closed on Saturday, July the 4th, but they are open tomorrow. So please note that the transfer station is open tomorrow on Friday, July 3rd, closed on July the 4th for the federal state holiday. All right, we will move on. All right. In-person presentation, we have Mrs. Lydia Sosi, the manager of the Dade County Public Library. So Welcome, Lydia.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here tonight. Our stats for the May 28th through June 26th, our door count was at 4,580. Our computer use at 260. Our printer use at 448. Our study room use by person was at 1,326. Our time with tutors has shot up to 138. And our May circulation is at 4,207. Next slide, please. Today, we held our 5th Summer Reading Challenge program. Dinosaurs took over the library with fun, interactive activities throughout the building. Our Lego challenge was a huge success, with many votes being cast for the creations. Olivia was the one who won and took home the prize. We also enjoyed a movie in the auditorium, puzzles, an excavation station, and many hands-on activities. Please remember that our library will be closed on Saturday, July 4th, not in observance of Independence Day, but we are open tomorrow for our regular hours of 10 to 3. Tuesday, July 7th at 5 p.m., adults are invited to join us for a fun evening of creativity and socializing as we learn how to create beautiful charcuterie boards. Registration is required for this program. It is filling up fast. I think we only have 2 spots left, so if this is a program you're interested in, please sign up. And then Thursday, July 9th, is all about music at the library. At 11 a.m., we have Jennifer Daniels, who will present an energetic, family-friendly concert for children of all ages. So we invite you all to come sing, dance, and enjoy the fun with us. And then later that evening, if you'll go to the next slide. Thank you. Later that evening at 5:30 p.m., we have Haley Moore, who will perform a beautiful harp concert. And so again, we invite you to join us for a relaxing evening filled with wonderful, beautiful music. And then Tuesday, July 14th at 2 p.m. brings another Ag Venture story time. This month's featured book is We Are the Gardeners by Joanna Gaines, followed with a fun craft. And while this program is geared toward children's pre-K through the 3rd grade, it is open to children of all ages. And then also on Tuesday, July 14th at 5 p.m., our teens can kick off a special 2-part podcasting workshop led by Life with Rojo. Participants will learn everything from choosing a topic to writing a script to recording and editing their very own podcast. And then the second class will take place on July 21st. Space is very limited and registration is required for both sessions. And then on Thursday, July 16th at 11 a.m., we'll wrap up our summer reading challenge with a patriotic collaborative art project. Everyone is invited to stop by and create a unique piece that will come together as one community work of art. And then later that evening at 5:30 p.m., Laura Beth Cunningham will present Chickens 101. It's a fun and informative class for adults interested in backyard chickens. You'll learn all about choosing, raising, and caring for your own flock. Sorry. And then on Tuesday, July 21st at 7 p.m., our Dade County Public Library Book Club will meet to discuss this month's selection, Theo of Golden by Alan Levi. And then our summer reading challenge has gotten off to an incredible start. During our first month, we've welcomed 190 registered readers. Last I checked, and it has increased since then, we logged 119,040 minutes of reading and celebrated 45 completed challenges, along with record-breaking attendances to many of our programs. We also recognize Readers of the Week. We choose one adult and one child for each week, and these are readers who have read the most during this time. And so I would like to recognize our readers. For week 1 was Kendra and Alice. Week 2 was Jesse and Fauna. Week 3 was Andy and Henry. And unfortunately, I had to send the slide before we looked for week 4. But week 4, our readers were Lynn and Bryson. And we still have 3 weeks remaining for this year's summer reading challenge, so there's still time to register, sign up, and log those reading minutes. You'll be able to earn tickets to enter into fun prizes that have all been donated by our local businesses. We have a lot of wonderful prizes this year, so please, you only need a couple of tickets to to take advantage of this opportunity. So even if you feel you can't make that completion, you can still partake and have fun. And then, next slide, thank you. And then before I finish, I'd like to extend a sincere thank you to our program community sponsors. Without their generosity helps make programs like our Summer Reading Challenge possible. So I'd like to thank Dade County Sheriff's Department, City of Trenton, Southeast Lineman Training Center, the Chattanooga Industrial Motors, Life with Rojo, Optimist Club of Trenton Dade, Mark and Lisa Kegel, and Steve Forrester. And we truly appreciate your continued support of the Dade County Public Library and the families that we serve. Okay, and then, and the Bank of Dade. I apologize. I knew I was missing one. Thank you. And Bank of Dade. They have been a continuous, longtime supporter of our library. So thank you very much, and I apologize for missing you. And then, as always, for any information about upcoming events or news with our library, you can visit us at chrl.org, Facebook, or our Instagram page.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Y'all did an excellent job. I saw the parking lot packed almost every day in June
Yes.
for your summer reading and children's activities, so congratulations on that. We also have tonight, we're going to add some folks coming from the county just to give a brief update on areas of government that we don't always hear about on a monthly basis. But Penny Keaton, we've heard several things about that tonight, but Penny, come on up, and Dade County with Dade County Transit, and also Mr. Larry Walker with Dade County Senior Center. Just want to recognize them and give them an opportunity to give us an update on their goings on and again, I guess any need you might have. So.
Well, I guess I'll start. Just a little history about Rural Transit Day. It started July the 16th in 2019. So that's when they started recognizing rural transit. And a lot of people don't know that we do more than just take seniors and doctor's appointments. If you need to go to the store, right now we do require a week in advance to schedule it. Take people to the store. There is a small fee if you're under the age of 65. But just call us and let us know. We're doing actually the senior trip falls on Rural Transit Day this year, so that'll be a fun thing for our folks. We're just there for anybody who needs us. Give us a call. 657-8277.
8277. Y'all are funded through
We're
GDOT's.
funded through GDOT, and then Verida is a company that helps us with our senior program.
Right.
But
Right.
they take care of our needs.
If you have a senior that just can't afford the $2 or whatever it is, Verida helps. Yeah, Verida will help pay that for you. So if you are a senior in need and you're afraid you just can't afford the fee, you come down and talk to Penny or call 8277, and she will make a way for you.
Oh, yeah.
We usually find
We'll get them there.
the math to make it work. We actually have, in the past, have had even volunteers pay other people's things. But anyway, just if you need us, we're here, and we appreciate you, Penny, and the drivers, all the drivers. They're probably going to bed right now.
Got a good crew. Well, they're off tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. They are off tomorrow. That's good for them.
So they may be at home.
Yes.
Or they may be out.
That's right. All right. And Larry Walker does our senior programs. And so tell us a little bit more about you, also the program and how it connects to Dade County.
Sure. Anyone 60 and over that is mobile and self-sufficient can come and join the congregate program. If not, we provide homebound services, Meals on Wheels, through Area Agency on Aging. They are our fund source. We take their referrals to begin meal delivery service at home. There is no reason why any senior citizen in Dade County should ever go hungry or be alone. Bob made that clear a while ago, and we certainly appreciate Bob's support also. These services are available for no charge. We provide activities, games, and social opportunities for our seniors. We provide and oversee in cooperation with Ms. Keaton, with Dade Transit, our seniors' monthly shopping trips and eating out at a retail and restaurant of their choosing, and their site council pays half of the meal on that trip. Membership and participation is growing steadily and gradually since last October. We have had participation and attendance 5 days in June alone that were over 35 attendees there at the center, and 1 day with 40 sign-ins. So that's looking up and looking good. The meal quality is improving, and the members are expressing more enjoyment with their activities with more frequency. If you're 60 and over, come by and join us and become a member. We look forward to seeing everyone. Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your support, and I mention it every month, but when you talk to the senior citizens that are down there, they look forward to these shopping trips that they get to go on. Because the rest of us, we hop in our car, and sometimes, oh God, I gotta go to Walmart, right? Am I gonna go to Fort Payne, or am I gonna go to, Lookout Valley? But if you don't have transportation, right? If you don't get out every now and then, right? Going out to shopping in a major store like that and stopping at a restaurant, that's a high five moment. And we appreciate y'all doing that, right? And thanks for taking care of our senior citizens. Thank you very much.
All right, and thank you, Larry, for that report. And it is kind of member-based. I mean, y'all have your own council, site council, I think it's called. Yes. And so the seniors themselves elect annually like a president, a vice president, a secretary and treasurer, and then they have meetings down there monthly. They have a closet available there in the center that you can buy pretty much everything in there for $1, right? Yes. And I have a feeling if you buy 3, you might get 1 free if you talk them into it, because they got usually plenty of stuff in there, but that's up to them. I made that up, sorry. And so, but anyway. You can do it. Yeah, that's right. But sometimes they get a lot of great donations and all sizes and stuff, so check that out for them, because the $1 raised every time, or maybe $15, whatever somebody leaves with 15 garments, those funds go back into their trip fund, and it helps them do activities. They do fun things. They celebrate like 4th of July. They'll have cake sometimes. They'll do games in the day and different things. So check it out. And I can't believe he said 60. I'm only 4 years away from the senior center. Woo! I can't wait. But anyway, it's amazing.
Yes,
wow, how time flies, right? Anyway, we won't talk about it. Anyway, all right. Thank y'all both for that presentation. And online presentations are available tonight by Mrs. Laura Beth Cunningham, who's our 4-H agent and for UGA Extension, Dade County. And also an online presentation by Miss Sandy White, President and CEO of the Alliance for Dade and representative of the Chamber of Commerce. So feel free to check those out on our website. This time we will talk our financial matters, and I'll now ask Ms. Rebecca Jones, CFO, to provide the county financial report.
As of June 30th, 2026. The next 4 pages are our budget variance report as of May 31st, 2026. Our revenues and year-to-date actuals is $14,806,822. Year-to-date budget, $14,754,292. So we're in excess, $52,530. Expenses, year-to-date actuals, $14,886,633. Year-to-date budget, $14,734,310. So we're actually over budget, $152,323. The next couple pages you see after that are our lost and splosh trends since 2010. Then the next several pages go over your 2015, which is almost complete, and your 2021 splosh detail. And then the last page there is your year-to-date tax collections. The percentage collected as of May 31st, 2026 is at 98.34%. And that concludes the report.
All right, I know, on the financial report, note that the detail there is through May 31st, even though we've just passed June 30th. June 30th is our financials end for our fiscal year, but by law in Georgia, we leave the books open for 60 days for any accounts receivable or payable to come in, and we'll be posting those things back. So that started yesterday and today. We'll be posting certain things back. Things that need to go in July will go in July, but things that we bought in June goes back, including revenues. Sometimes we don't get certain revenues. Sometimes it takes 60 days to get it, believe it or not. But anyway, all right. Are there any questions pertaining to the report? Hearing no questions, I will entertain a motion to approve the financial report as presented by Mrs. Jones.
I'll make a motion.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. I will now poll each commissioner and have their vote recorded. Dr. Pullen?
Yes.
Mr. Hartline?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. The motion is passed by unanimous vote. All right, legal matters. Mr. Robin Rogers, our county attorney, do we have any legal matters to discuss?
Nothing before.
Okay. Is there any unfinished business to discuss or vote upon? Hearing none, under new business, the reading of the minutes of the last month's regular meeting and any special call meetings will not be required since all commissioners have been furnished copies in advance. The minutes are public record and available for review in the county commission office. The minutes are included in the consent agenda and will be considered for approval under new business. I will now ask the county clerk to read aloud the items for consideration on the consent agenda.
The approval of the agenda, approval of the previous meeting minutes, the review of the personnel status report, the proclamation for Rural Transit Day, which is July 16th, 2026, approval of the Elections Building Construction Project monthly updates, that's for information only, the approval of emergency medical services agreement with Puckett EMS that will go into effect February 1st, 2027, Resolution R-33-26 declaring results of the election held on May 19th, 2026. Resolution R-35-26, the disposal of surplus county property, which is 2015 Ford Escape. Resolution R-36-26, disposal of surplus county property for Chevrolet Kodiak. And Resolution R-37-26, disposal of surplus county property, Simon Duplex Ladder Truck. Proposed amendments to the ordinance number 04-0617 to the Alcoholic Beverage Control Ordinance. We're approving this as the first reading. The floating option local sales tax, FLOST, will be put on the November 26th ballot. And transportation special purpose local option sales tax, T-SPLOST, will also be put on November 26th ballot. And that's all I have.
Okay. Did you say November 26th or 6th?
26.
Ah, gotcha.
Sorry.
I thought, yeah.
November 2026.
Election day this November.
Yes.
Early, okay.
What did you say?
I got you. All right. Is there any discussion regarding the items listed on the consent agenda as presented by the clerk?
No.
Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented by Mrs. Knight.
I'll make a motion to present.
All right. Mrs. Bradford has moved to approve the consent agenda as read. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. I will now poll each commissioner to have their vote recorded. Dr. Pullen?
Yes.
Mr. Hartline?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yep.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. The motion is passed by unanimous vote. I want to say, have a safe and happy 4th of July, okay? Don't blow anything off because it's your hands, be careful with fireworks and whatever, but be safe and have a good one. It's going to be hot, and make sure you drink plenty of water. I sound like a mother hen, don't I? Anyway, and don't forget the 1945 Day Fair is Saturday from 12 noon until fireworks finish. So I hope everybody enjoys that. You had a call for an executive session at our last special call meeting. Do you still?
I think we need one.
Okay. Okay, I need a motion to enter into executive session
Make a motion to enter.
Do I hear a second? I'm
Yeah,
sorry, you're right.
personnel, yes.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
The commission will now retire to hold an executive session for the purpose of the personnel issues.
Leave your microphones.
Yeah, leave your microphone. All right, we will call the meeting back to order. I need a motion to enter back into, exit out of executive session.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All right, I have a motion of second. We'll call the vote. Dr. Pullen?
Yes.
Mr. Hartline?
Yes.
Mr. Woods?
Yep.
Mrs. Bradford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. The motion is passed by unanimous vote. We have the executive session to discuss personnel. No decisions were made. Is there any further business? A motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn? Second.
Then we are hereby adjourned.